What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another FD Guru live DFS show. We have the MLB back in action, got the second half of the season ready to get underway, and we got a pretty big slate tonight due to every team getting all their rest. So we're gonna have every team playing today. So we had, I think, the Cubs and Cardinals played an early day game today, but the other 28 teams are playing tonight, and they're all on this main slate. The only weather concerns we're looking at is Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a pretty good game to pick from, but that rain being a factor there is going to kind of shy me away from that. There's a lot better spots to go. There's no need to risk any guys getting rained out. Even Boston at Detroit has a little bit of rain issues, not as bad as Cincinnati, but there is some cause for concern there. You got to keep an eye on that as we get on into the night. Like I said, guys, I'll be saying a keyword giveaway today. If you just type it in the chat, I'm going to say it halfway through the show. I'll give you 10 free Guru credits. We'll be able to get you a lineup tonight if you don't have any credits as of now. Get you guys on that train. For tonight, though, the pitching, not too bad. You would expect there to be some more studs, though, coming out of the break with all the rest. But there's really no guys you want to spend up on here. Trevor Bauer's in a pretty good spot at Texas, but he's 12,200, so I don't know if I love picking him tonight. There's some really good bats I want to spend up on, and there's some pretty good mid-level, mid-tier salary pitchers tonight that I kind of want to pick, even in cash games. So let me just pull up the chat here so I can make sure. So we have some decent pitching down low here. I really, really like Jake Arrieta tonight at home against the Padres. He's a pretty big favorite tonight, and he's coming off of a couple really good performances. So we know Arrieta can be a huge stud. I'm actually thinking about picking him in cash games tonight. His last two performances at Pittsburgh and at Miami, he went 7 innings in both of them. 49 fantasy points and 40 fantasy points. I'm really liking him tonight against the Padres. Definitely a guy you could be looking at in cash games, even GPPs as well. Let's see here. Let's get on here. There was another cheap guy I liked pretty good amount. Oh, right. Nathan Eovaldi. Bovada, they have a new site now. It looks pretty cool. It's a new update they have. He is a minus, let's see, he's a late game, isn't he? Where is he? Here we go. Minus 168 favorite here in a 7.5 total. So Eovaldi is really liked tonight by Vegas, and for good reason. He's playing the Marlins, who've been pretty bad all year, and he's at home. Tampa Bay is a great park to pitch in, so Eovaldi finds himself in a pretty good spot. I wouldn't say he's a cash game play, but at 7,200, he's got a pretty good upside for GBPs. I know he got blown up last start in Minnesota, but if you can kind of look away from that game, he's had some pretty good games since he's been pitching in the MLB this year. You can see that huge upside at Citi Field, 9 strikeouts against the Mets, 58 fantasy points. He also has a 55 here, proving that it wasn't a one-time deal. I do like Eovaldi tonight in GPPs. He can really allow you to spend up on some awesome bats. I definitely don't mind him at all. I'm having a tough time pulling up the chat here. I just want to make sure you guys can see any questions asked. So that's basically it for the pitching. If you really want to spend up on a guy for some certain points in cash games, Trevor Bauer is definitely a fine play. Strasburg's coming off of an injury, so I don't know. I think he's going to be on a little bit of a pitch count tonight. Not worth it for me. Syndergaard's expecting to get tagged tonight. Vegas hates him. A 9 total in this game, and the Yankees are favorited. He's also coming off of an injury, so he could be limited as well. Skaggs has a really tough matchup off of an injury against the Astros. And then these middle tier guys aren't really good. I'd say Jake Arrieta is probably the best bang for your buck pitcher tonight, for sure. Let's see, how do I pull my videos? Let's see, there we go. Yeah, so I do really like Jake Arrieta, guys. You want to look at him. And let's just jump right into the slate here for the bats. Mets at Yankees. Like I said, Vegas has this game surprisingly high. Get off of this. The Yankees are favorited here in a 9 total, which is kind of crazy. Minus 177 favorite here. So Syndergaard's expected to get tagged. I really don't want to pick on him, though, just because he's Noah Syndergaard. It's not really worth spending up on Yankees bats here. There's a lot better ways to go on this big slate. I'm not really looking at this game at all, to be honest. Even the Mets side of things doesn't look great. Cespedes is back here batting second against Jermaine, who can really give it up. 5.49 ERA. If you were to do a little Mets stack here, Cespedes is a really good play at 2,900. But who knows how he's going to be coming off of that long injury. Kind of a forced play if you play any guys in this game, to be honest. I don't love it. San Diego at Philadelphia. You got Jake Arrieta, like I said, in a great matchup against the Padres. He's probably my favorite pitcher play of the night. So, not really looking to pick any Padres. As far as Phillies go, you got Clayton Richard pitching on the bump for the Padres, so you could focus on some righties. Maikel Franco batting 5th tonight with that lefty-righty matchup. Not a bad play here. 2,700. Pretty fair price for him. He hasn't been great at all this year, but he does have some good power upside, and he has shown some signs of some stardom games when he really goes off. 270 average, though, is not terrible. You could definitely get away with picking Franco in some GPPs if you want to stack this game. Rhys Hoskins is also a good play at 3,400. He's got that lefty-righty matchup as well. I don't mind Hoskins and Franco. Even Altair, if you want to do a little Philly stack, like I said, batting 6, 2,100, almost bare minimum here. Who's batting cleanup? I think Carlos Santana, 2,900. So the Phillies are looking like a pretty decent stack tonight. Hoskins, Santana, Franco, and even Altair. You could stack these guys against Clayton Richard. They should be pretty low owned, making them even more of a better GPP play, in my opinion. Atlanta at Washington. Like I said at the beginning, Strasburg's back. No need to focus on Braves hitters, but he will have a pitch count. Could maybe look at Nats against Anibal Sanchez, but he's actually had some really good games since he's come back this year. He's been pretty consistent if you look at his strikeout numbers. I don't really know if I want to spend up on any Nationals hitters here just because Anibal's been good at times. Eaton leading off here. He is 2,900, pretty cheap. Not a bad play if you want to go that route. I don't hate it. That's a fair price for Adam Eaton. He's a great ball player. As far as anyone else in this game, I'm not really looking to pick anyone. This isn't a cash play game at all, in my opinion. You want to talk about cash game plays here. Baltimore at Toronto. This is probably the best game stack on the slate. It's a huge total, and everyone is so fairly priced in this game that it's really hard to fade the game at all. I'm going to be picking a bunch of guys from this game. You got a 9 total here. Blue Jays minus 158 favorite. The Orioles are plus 138, so they're still expected to score some runs. It's almost a pick 'em here. So expect both teams to have shots at scoring a bunch of runs tonight. You got some guys in awesome spots tonight. Jonathan Scope, one of these guys. Well, let's talk about the pitchers here. You got Dylan Bundy, who's been getting lit up basically all year, and you got Sam Viglio. I always struggle with that one on the Blue Jays. He's also been bad all year. So you definitely want to target some hitters in this game. Scope at 3K is a pretty fair play here. Not the best value play in this game, but definitely a fair play at 3,000. The best value plays in this game are the third baseman. Solarte at 2,600 batting cleanup. Probably the best play here on the Blue Jays side of things. And then you got Tim Beckham leading off at 2,500. Both of these guys are absolutely fantastic cash game plays tonight. They're just both in really good spots. You could also look at Teoscar Hernandez at 3,200. He's been a great ball player all year, if not the most consistent Blue Jays hitter. And then you got Curtis Granderson batting 2,600. He's 2,600 batting leadoff. Another great play here with the lefty-righty matchup against Dylan Bundy. And then Adam Jones on the Orioles side of things. 2,600 batting third. These guys are just in awesome spots tonight, and they're all very, very cheap. Granderson, Hernandez, Adam Jones, and then the third baseman, Solarte, Tim Beckham, and then even Scope. You could definitely do a full game stack in this game if you wanted to. I wouldn't hate it. There's a lot of good value to go on here. Boston at Detroit. I'm not looking at any Tigers hitters. No need to pick on David Price here, especially because there's actually a little bit of rain in this game. I don't even know if I'm going to be picking anyone. But the Red Sox are expected to tag Matthew Boyd. So you could really look towards some Sox hitters. Steve Pearce, 3,300, not a bad price. He's been great for them since he's come. But like I said, there's a little bit of rain to worry about, so it makes me picking and spending up on these guys a little more sketchy. And honestly, even if there wasn't any rain, there's really there's no great value here. Mookie and JD, their prices are as high as ever. Benintendi's got the lefty-lefty matchup. I'm not really liking this game too much at all. That says a lot, too, because the Red Sox are normally a good team to pick from, but they're just also fairly priced tonight. A little bit of rain, too. Definitely not really looking towards it. For Miami at Tampa Bay, like I said, Eovaldi makes for an awesome GPP play tonight, guys. 7,200 against Miami. It's a really low total. You could actually even look at Dan Straley. He's coming off of a great game. 6 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts. He might be a good fourth pitcher if he's on the quick pick slate tonight. I don't know if you guys know about the new quick pick on FanDuel, but I've been doing those lineups as well on my website, so keep that in mind. Quick pick is you pick 4 pitchers and 4 batters. Look at it over on FanDuel if you don't know about it yet. They have every player placed differently in each tier. You have 4 tiers for pitchers. Obviously, the best pitchers being tier 1 down to tier 4. Dan Straley will probably be a tier 4 guy tonight. I don't mind him. Even Eovaldi, if he's in the tier 4, a great play. Both of these guys are pretty good GPP plays. And then you got hitters tiers 1 through 4 as well. So that's how you pick it. You don't have any salary over on the quick pick format. I'll be making a lineup for that later. But I'm not really looking at bats in this game. It's a low total. Eovaldi's a great play in this game, and then even Dan Straley if you want to shy away from things and have some low ownership. 6,400 is a dirt cheap price for him coming off of a pretty good game. Now, we know it's Dan Straley. He can get hit up at any time with a 4.29 ERA, but I am saying if you're going to pick him, he's in a pretty good spot tonight in Tampa Bay against the Rays. If you look at his game log, yeah, he has some bad games, but he also has some good games. Some really good high risk and high reward out of Dan Straley tonight. Next game, Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. I'm going to go right over it. There's a lot of rain to worry about, so I'm not even going to talk about it. Cleveland at Texas. We got Trevor Bauer. No need to look at Rangers hitters. Trevor Bauer is a decent play if you want to pick some cheap hitters tonight. I don't think I'm going to be looking his way. And then you got Martin Perez on the Rangers side of things. The Indians are expected to mash him tonight in Arlington. You really want to look at some Indians. I really like Edwin Encarnacion tonight, 3,600. He's got a great matchup tonight against Perez. Lefty-righty matchup. He's got crazy pop. If his average kind of scares you, I don't blame you. But definitely throw him in some GPP lineups. 3,600 is too cheap for him. Perez has that 7.6 ERA. The Indians are just going to mash him tonight. You could even look to spend up on either Jose Ramirez or Lindor. Lindor is at a pretty fair price of 4,500. I don't hate them. I don't hate either of them. I don't think you can get both of them. But you definitely should try fitting one of them in your lineup. Like I said, Encarnacion you definitely want. And then the cash game play here is Brandon Guyer, as usual. He never plays unless it's against a lefty. And he's always a minimum guy, and he's always hitting in the middle of the lineup when there's a lefty. So you know what? It's always good to just take a flyer on him. He could hit a homer. I know he's batting 167. He sucks. He's not great. But he's 2,000. I'm willing to throw him in my outfield, in my cash lineup, to be able to spend up everywhere else. He's a great flyer to spend down on. I just don't mind it. I know he's just not great, but the righty-lefty matchup, he could always hit a homer. Indians are expected to crush Perez tonight. So Geyer will get up with some guys on base. I can't really fade him. Too great of a play at 2,000. Definitely a good cash game play here. So if you were going to do a stack here, I'd do Edwin, Jose Ramirez, Lindor, and Brandon Geyer. That's the way to go here. Dodgers at Milwaukee. We got the debut of Manny Machado, and he couldn't be in a better spot tonight. Lefty-righty matchup against Wade Miley, a former teammate of Machado's. I love him tonight. I want to pick him so bad. 4,200 is a great price. I think he's going to mash tonight in his debut with the Dodgers. It's kind of weird seeing the blue with Machado. I can't wait to watch him tonight, though. It's going to be exciting. I do like these guys Machado against Wade Miley. You can even look at Chris Taylor, too. He's leading off tonight. FanDuel hasn't registered it yet over on my computer, but I have looked at the lineup tonight. Chris Taylor and Machado are great plays against Wade Miley. The lefty-righty matchups. You even want to look at Matt Kemp, too. FanDuel always keeps his price in the low 3,000s, which makes no sense because Kemp's been a great player all year, batting .310, 15 dingers, 60 ribeyes. I love Kemp tonight as well. You could do a little stack tonight. The Dodgers are in an awesome spot in Milwaukee. I expect Wade Miley to give it up tonight. Basically, any righty in this Dodgers lineup is in play. Certainly like them a bunch. Let's see. Any love for Robbie Ray tonight? Yeah, I was actually going to mention Robbie Ray earlier, and I forgot to. I definitely like him as well. He's pretty cheap. It's a low total over in Arizona. The only issue is Robbie Ray hasn't been great as of late. He's coming off of a pretty decent outing. But other than that, he's been struggling. I wouldn't suggest him in cash games just because he's facing a lot of tough righty bats in the Rockies. You got Arenado, Trevor Story. The middle of that Rockies lineup is just tough. You got Ian Desmond as well. A couple of tough hitters to pitch there. But Robbie Ray is Robbie Ray, and he has some great strikeout upside. At 7,600, definitely a great play for GPPs. For tournaments, definitely put him in some lineups. I wouldn't really say he's much of a cash game pitcher tonight. Love Grandy tonight, John Payne. Yeah, I love him as well. I'm glad you're on board with that. I'm sure a lot of other people are on board as well. He's going to be highly owned for sure. 2,600 leading off against Dylan Bundy is definitely a great play for Curtis Granderson. Before I talk about this Minnesota-Kansas City game, I will give away that keyword. You guys just comment in the chat to get 10 free Guru credits. If you just comment capital FD, the beginning of my name, that's the keyword, FD in the chat, and then just put your username on my website, and I will go on after this show and give you a free 10 Guru credits. Just a little promo to get you guys on here. I just need some more people on this video as the days go on, but starting little, we'll be growing though. We'll be getting some more people on here. It's still new for me. I'm still getting this whole streaming thing down, but for those of you who are watching, I do appreciate it. Getting better day by day, and hopefully you guys stick it out with me and you're getting some useful DFS information here. But this game, Kyle Gibson against Danny Duffy, I don't know. Both of these pitchers can be good and they can both be bad, and these offenses aren't really great. This game is kind of a fade for me. Let's see what Vegas has it at. I don't love it from first glance here. You got a 9 total, and you got the Twins. Okay, so they're expecting the Twins to hit a little bit tonight against Danny Duffy. Let's see if their lineup's out here. Yeah, we got not really any righties hitting here for the lefty-righty matchup. Like I've always said, I don't like picking any lefty-lefties, lefty hitters on lefty pitchers. It's just not worth it for me. I just don't love it. I'm not going to go with Joe Mauer. Not going to go with Eddie Rosario. Maybe Brian Dozier. It could be a good GPP play. Second baseman here. Lefty-righty matchup. 3,700. Not a bad play. He could go double dong against Danny Duffy. But like I said, both of these pitchers can be pretty good. I'm going to call this game basically a wash and move on here. San Francisco at Arizona. You got Derek Rodriguez, and I'm one of those people with the little things annoy me. I don't know his name. Why do you spell Derek like that? I've never seen that. Dereck. What an annoying way to spell that. But he's at Oakland tonight. A pretty decent GPP pitcher here. For all you GPP guys out there, I don't mind him in as a GPP pitcher tonight. Just because if you look at his game log, he's been good. He's reached 7 innings, 6 1/3, 6 2/3, and his strikeout numbers can get there. Oakland's a great pitcher's ballpark. 8,000. He should be low owned. Definitely a good GPP play here. And then you got Edwin Jackson on the athletic side of things. I don't know. I don't think he's a great pitcher. I don't think that, other than Derek Rodriguez, I'm not really looking at any guys in this game. The Giants lineup isn't even out yet, so I wouldn't really target anyone against Edwin because he can be a great pitcher at times. Vegas has this game at, 8.5 total. It's basically a pick'em. Yeah, I don't know. You could even look at Edwin Jackson as a GPP play as well. He's a favorite here, but I don't like anyone in this game too much at all. So let's just move on here. Colorado at Arizona. Like I said, Robbie Ray is a pretty decent GPP play. And then Herman Marquez or Marquis, he can be good too at times, but he's had a really good last 3 outings here. But I'm not looking to pick him just because he's got a 4.8 ERA. He's at Arizona. I don't love it. I also don't love Arizona bats in this game either. Houston at the Angels. You got Skaggs against Keuchel. 2 really good pitchers here. But they have tough matchups tonight. They're both lefties and they're both facing heavy right-handed lineups tonight. The Angels have a bunch of right-handed hitters who are great. Kinsler, Trout, Albert Pujols, Justin Upton. Makes for a really tough outing for Dallas Keuchel. And then the Astros, obviously, George Springer, Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, Yuri Gurriel, Evan Gattis. It's just a really tough matchup for both these pitchers, but they're both good pitchers. So on the other side of things, I'm not really looking to pick any hitters either. This game is also a wash as well, unless you guys find something you like. I mean, you can go into it, but I'm advising you to stay away from this game on all fronts here. Just because these pitchers can be great, but at the same time, these offenses can be great here, but nothing to be sure of. I can't really predict how this game is going to go out. I'm not really looking at this game at all. And then we have our last game here, Chicago at Seattle. The Mariners are looking like a really good stack tonight against James Shields. You could look at Kyle Seager. I don't know if they have their lineup out yet. I don't think they do. He'll probably be batting 5th tonight for the Mariners. He's got a great righty-lefty matchup against James Shields. So at 3K, he makes for a pretty good play. And then you could look at D. Gordon. He'll be leading off tonight, 3,100. If he gets on base, you can expect him to steal against James Shields. With that righty being on the mound, harder for him to look over at first. I love D. Gordon at 3,100. It's a very cheap price for him. If the Mariners get scoring and rotating that lineup, Gordon's going to get 5 at-bats. He could easily get a couple hits, couple stolen bases, a couple runs. If the Mariners are scoring a bunch of runs, D. Gordon will be the table setter for that. So at 3,100, he makes for an awesome play. And then Robinson Cano should be batting 3rd, righty left. Oh wait, never mind. He's an absolute loser using PEDs or whatever he used. He would be an awesome play in this game against James Shields at 2,500. You kidding me? But as we know, he's suspended until mid-August. So obviously, just a little joke there. So, but I do like D. Gordon. I do like Kyle Seager. But anyone else, kind of tough to play anyone else. Nelson Cruz, Mitch Haniger, Gene Segura, they're all pretty highly priced. Better ways to go here. But to sum up the slate, guys, you got some good GPP pitching tonight. Cheap guys. You got Eovaldi, a good GPP play. Derek Rodriguez on the Giants. And then for bats, you want to look towards the Phillies are in a good spot against Clayton Richard. This Baltimore-Toronto game, a great game stack. And then the Cleveland Indians are in an awesome spot. Probably the best team to play tonight against Martin Perez. As far as any other game goes, pick your poison. But those are my teams I'm going to be looking at tonight, and hopefully you guys are as well. If you have any questions, let me see. Just put them in the chat here. Let's see. Any questions? Trout, man, take him deep to be real. Let's see. Against Keuchel, you got the lefty-righty matchup with Mike Trout. But again, the key word in what you said is might take him deep. You're paying $4,500 for Trout. Like, yeah, he's a superstar, but it's Keuchel. Why pick a superstar against a pretty good pitcher? There's no need to put yourself in that position when you can spend the same amount on a guy like Lindor at $4,500 against Martin Perez. It's just you got to pick your spots tonight. Trout could easily homer, but you got to pick the guys who are in better spots in a DFS standpoint. So Mets. I think if Cano would play and he would destroy Shield. Yeah, I agree with that. The Mets, I don't know. They could be in a good spot tonight against Jermaine. Like I said, he's been getting lit up. Brendan Nemo, lefty-righty matchup, 3,200. Not a bad play. You could honestly stack them. Conforto, 2,700. If you're a big Met guy, I don't hate you stacking them tonight, but I'm not really looking towards it too much. But if you didn't get it, comment FD, capital FD, in my chat with your username. Again, if you comment after this live stream is over in the comments below, that does not count. I'm trying to get people to tune in here live, so you got to be in the chat room commenting FD with your FD Guru username, and I will add a free 10 Guru credits to your name. So thanks for you guys watching. Until the next time I do a show, I am the FD Guru, and I'm signing.